Hello everyone, I'm Nonye and this is Chat with Nonye. Wow, the rate at which people are supporting Sandra and Chike, you would think what they did was morally right. Well, if you don't know, Sandra happened to be Frank Edoho's ex-wife. Um, like I said in my last video, for whatever reason, what she did was completely right. Fine, they both cheated, and I don't believe in retaliation. I don't subscribe to that, and based on my findings, she actually cheated when she was, you know, no longer involved maritally. They were kind of divorced before she cheated with Chike. And the reason everything came to the media is because Frank wanted Sandra to leave Chike alone, which she obviously didn't. And that pissed him off. That's why everything is so bad at this stage. Everybody's taking sides. The bulk of the women are taking side with Sandra. Obviously, the men taking side with Frank. And those that are criticizing Chike are also there in their own category. But what I want to talk about today is cheating. I discovered that with everything happening, everything is centered around cheating, and it's like an eye opener. You see a bulk of people now talking about cheating. Before now, they let it slide, especially if it's coming from a man. But now that it's a woman that is involved, the buzz is out there. So let's really understand what cheating is all about. The implication, I guess, if we have that firm understanding, people will think twice, before they go into the act, you know. And based on my research, I will take it a step at a time. Number one reason people cheat is lack of emotional intimacy. And many a times it happens in the life of a woman when she's not emotionally engaged with a man, with her partner anymore. When she's emotionally dead, gone, you understand? It brings about, I said in my last video that women are very emotional, so it's easy for them to do that when they have an emotional connection with the person they are committing the act with, so if being married, they are no longer emotionally attached to their partner, and they have such attachment to somebody else outside, there's a high chance of them cheating on their husbands. Same also men, but a bulk of this goes to the woman. You understand? Because of build up, you understand, all emotion and all that attention seeking and everything put together, there's a high tendency, a high chance that that will happen compared to a man. Then the second one is sexual dissatisfaction. This more to the men, leans more to the men. They are adventurous, and it happens mainly um after being married for a while. When you guys met, no kind of responsibility, you don't have children, it's just the two of you. That's why I see some people when they get married, they will like, let's give ourselves 2 3 years before we start having children, because they want to like bond, because when kids start coming in, distractions, and it's more like a routine. The excitement is no longer there, the spark is no longer there. You understand? So because they are adventurous, they will now go outside. You understand, to look for that spark, that's adventure. You understand? Because if you the woman is so burdened with the home, she doesn't have time for that anymore. They'll let me go outside and look for someone that has the time and stuff like that. You understand? When I'm done with all of this list, we are now going to talk about how to resolve it. Yes, because in all of this, when you step out of your vow, you're hurting somebody, because you guys started somewhere. Something brought the two of you together. Something made the two of you decide to go on this journey together. You understand? Promises were made, vows were taken. So stepping out of it, you're hurting somebody, regardless of whatever reason you step out. Regardless of whatever reason, someone is being hurt, someone is in pain. You understand? So whether you were emotionally detached or disengaged, or the fact that sexually you don't have that satisfaction, there are ways around it. But that is number two. Then number three is boredom. Yes, boredom. Like I said, men very adventurous. It's like doing the same thing over and over and over again. No excitement, nothing. So it's just like ocho routine. You understand? It happens to some women too. Whereby like I would do the same thing over and over and over again. I beg, let's try something else. For women, they wouldn't want to bring that up because there's a certain way their husband sees them, looks at them. So if they bring such up, the man will like, you're becoming loose, or what are you watching? Who are you talking to and stuff like. So for them to maintain that particular idea or ideology their husband have about them, some of them would rather step out and talk about it. But for the men, naturally, I years back, I had a similar conversation with some men, and one particular man said that why would a man eat only one type of food? Why will he be eating rice, 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 when there are other food there for him to try? When there's pando yam, there's panded yam, there's amala, there's fufu. So why will you stick to just one kind of food? And I asked myself, hold on. So does it mean your wife is one type of food? He said, "Yeah, yes, so that's how he sees it." You understand? And I believe that is the mentality of most of these men that cheat. They believe variety is a spice of, of life. Even when I went ahead and asked him, okay, why don't you spice up your relationship with your wife? He said, no, my wife is very decent too. My wife is, no, I can't put her through that kind of stress. That is not why I married her. But you can put somebody else through that kind of stress. And do you know the kind of stress your wife will be going through, the kind of pain she'll be going through, finding out that you're doing such with somebody else? You understand? So that is number three, I suppose. Now, opportunity is number four, especially for those that have work trips. You understand, your company sends you on a business trip and all that, for weeks. And for a man that is not disciplined, is an opportunity. And apart from going on a work trip, you hang out with your friends. I know your friends, they do have such, like I said, for someone that is not disciplined, you have a high tendency, because your friends are like, Omo, you're just the only one that can introduce you to somebody. My girl has a friend and stuff like. It's an opportunity. You understand? So when opportunity like that comes, you see some people leaning towards that. It's tempting, so they have a high chance of cheating. So, and the fifth one is revenge or retaliation. That's in the case of Sandra. Revenge. retaliation. Now, for a woman, when the pain gets to an extent and she doesn't have anybody, or let me rephrase, she has she's opportune to talk to somebody, unfortunately a guy that gives her that listening ear, you understand, he will come as her savior. And while he's coming as her savior, she would not see anything wrong in doing anything with this guy because that is what drove her to that point. Pain. Now, in that case, is more like, I don't care how my husband feels anymore because he never cared the way I feel or felt while he was doing what he's doing. You understand? And that is revenge. That is retaliation. Some women will, you know what, we decide on their own. You know what? Do me, I do you. What a man can do, a woman can do also. They will deliberately go out. They will deliberately go out and do their stuff. They don't care because they want you to experience the pain, the hurt, the discomfort they feel. And truth be told, someone that cheats does not like to be cheated on. Even these guys that keep girlfriends, side chicks, will not want their side chicks to cheat on them. That's the truth. They will not want their girlfriends or side chicks to cheat on them, knowing fully well that they don't have the intention of marrying this person. This person is more like a getaway plan or an escape route for them, but they will still not want that person to cheat. So that is just the basic truth. So these women will go outside and like, you need to feel the pain I'm feeling. And I have a policy. What you cannot take, what you cannot absorb, what you feel when given to you will give you so much discomfort. Try not to do that to somebody else. Because until you walk on that person's path, until you fit into that person's shoe, you will definitely not know the pain the person is going through. It's easy for you to cheat and come back home and say, oh, I'm sorry, it was a mistake and stuff like that. It's easy to say that, but the truth is, now does that erase the pain the person is going through? So that is why some women will go out there and do same. Somebody said Sandra wanted to be caught, and that is why she was caught. If she didn't, she would have done it in such a way that Frank wouldn't have found out that she was doing such. Now let's go ahead. Now, seeking validation. Um, Same with that man I said I spoke to years ago. He said that men can sit in their gathering and start counting how many girls they've gone to bed with proudly, and he'll be applauded. Ah, my guy, how you take do and blah 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 like that. You know, with pride, they will brag about it. They will talk about everything that went down. Men amongst themselves. But is it possible for a woman to boldly stand and said, I've gone to bed with one, two, three, four, five, six, seven men? What do you think such woman will be tagged as? Yes, validation. Some men use it as scores. Yes, they count. I've done this, I've done that. Pride, yes, you do pass me, I be this, I be that. I know how many body counts I have and stuff like that. It's a thing of pride for them. But is it for a woman? Is it? Falling in love with someone else. That brings me to one question. And I would like a sincere answer down in the comment section. I've racked my head. I cannot find a solution, neither a good response to it. Is it possible to fall in love with two people at the same time? Is it? It's a question I've asked 1,000 times. Is it possible to fall in love with two people at the same time? Some people said yes, some people said it's not possible. I would like to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. Now, the next one, unresolved personal issue. You hear some men say, I'm just cheating because it's just in my nature. There's no big deal. Men are polygamous in nature. It's just, no. I strongly believe there's something missing. There's an issue when you sit down and think deeply about it. You will discover that there's actually something that is missing. There's a void that you're trying to fill. There's a void you're trying to, to fill. There's a pain somewhere you feel when you do this, it's okay for you. Or it's probably, um, you know, youthful exuberance at an older age. You want to like, this I did not try. It's like somebody saying, when you're deprived of the opportunity to act as a child, to grow properly as a child, when you're older, you have a high tendency of exhibiting that trait. Now that is what is happening. Some people just feel, because I didn't do this much, so I really don't know. I might be wrong. But one thing I know is when there's an unresolved personal issue, there's a tendency to cheat. Another one is poor boundaries. I was saying something. I said every woman, every woman should create a boundary. Every woman, not just women, both men and women. There should be boundaries, not just boundary for boundary's sake, but boundary, restricted boundary that you will follow through, boundary that the other person will know that, what, this is a no-no. I'm not meant to cross this line. You need to be strict, you need to be firm with your boundary. And you need to be conscious of it too. Because it's not enough to create boundaries and then you forget yourself. Boundaries are very important. It structures you, it structures your relationship with the other person. It makes you focus. It makes you not lose yourself in the process of your relationship with this other person. But once boundary is not set, you have a high tendency of cheating. A very, very high tendency of cheating. The last one, which is the 10th one, um, unmet needs in a relationship. Unmet needs in a relationship. You know, in all of this, in all of this reason, people cheat. I know a lot of people find themselves in all of these categories. Like I spoke to the man years ago. It's simple. Spice up your relationship with your wife. Spice it up with her. I understand you get tired doing the same thing over again. You go to work, she goes to work. You have children. You come back home, you're tired, but you can have weekend getaway. Away from work, away from your children, just the two of you. Try and remind yourself how you met, the path you both walked. That is how to spice up your relationship. Because that thing you're doing with that person outside, let me concentrate on the men. That thing you're doing with that person outside, truth be told, when you your girlfriend or your side chick switch places with your wife, trust me, you will end up still looking outside. because she's not better than your wife in any way. She's not. She's not faced with the stress, the home stress. She's not faced with the work stress. She's not faced with the children's stress. She's not even faced with your stress. 4 put together on one person. All she's just faced with is you coming to just whine and she's like, oh, sorry, baby. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. I'm there for you. And another one, men, the money you spend outside, you need to understand that upkeep, when you give a wife money for the house, is different from giving her money for her personal. Yes, she might be working. Yes, she might be working and earning her own money and supporting you in the growth of the home. But you taking out time to say, you know what, this is from me to you, as in for you, not for the children, not for the running of the home, but for you to take care of yourself, to look good, make good hair, buy good clothes, go for a spa treatment, go for a girl's date. Do all that you do for your girlfriends outside, your side chick out there. Try and do that for your wife and see with the stress and everything that's happening around her, if she will not be better than your girlfriend outside. There's no woman that, when treated right, will not respond right. No woman. Be it a male or a female. Everybody just needs the right treatment. I would like to end the video at this point. If you're seeing me for the very first time, kindly subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. And like I said, please share down in the comments below. Is it possible to love two people at the same time? Why I leave you with this video. Bye.
It's possible for a man to be in love with one woman and still cheat, but still be in love
with that same woman.
That he will tell you when it's time, when he feels he's losing, he will just say, you know what, everybody go. We'll be in love with someone. So, I love you. You can be on the phone now. I love you. And then see another one. I'll call you right back. You know, and he's already invested. But women are not really like that. You have to.
I feel like you think you know women. I feel like you think you know. Now I feel like now you're generalizing.
This is my second
now
marriage.
you're generalizing as well.
This is my second
now
marriage.
You're generalizing. You believe that
you gave men a pass that men can cheat because they have no emotional connection.
Listen,
but women should not cheat because they'll be emotionally attached.
According
who told you?